Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm so happy to welcome you all this morning to our first of 2021 academic year Promise+ event. My name is Bianca Valle Ward, and I am the coordinator for Promise+. So some of you may recognize my name, and some of you may recognize me personally from interacting when we were on campus last year, back in the days when we were in person. So thank you so much for coming today to our virtual event. This is our first, so hopefully it runs smoothly, and we're so happy to welcome you. First and foremost, this is a webinar, so it runs a little bit different than your standard Zoom meetings. So you may have noticed you can't turn on your video, and you're all muted currently, but we will have a Q&A at the end. So make sure you're writing down any questions that come up so that we can answer them. You can also type in questions and we can respond that way as well via the Q&A box, and that will be monitored throughout, throughout this meeting. So just save those questions, because if you're having a question, I'm sure lots of other people are having the very same questions, and we want to make sure that we answer them to the group at the end, so that way everyone has an opportunity to hear those answers. For our first speaker, I would like to introduce our director and manager, Ms. Tanya Robles. Thank you.
Welcome, Promise+ students. My name is Tanya Robles, and I serve as the Director of High School Outreach and Promise+. I know I can speak on behalf of all the Mount SAC employees that are here with us today when I say that we're so happy to be sharing this virtual space with you. Of course, we prefer to be with you in person, but for now, one of our top priorities is to keep everyone safe and healthy. I ask that if you feel comfortable, turn on your camera. If you're still wearing your PJs, haven't combed your hair, or maybe your living space is not too organized, I guarantee you're not going to be the only one. We really miss seeing your face, but no pressure. If you really don't feel comfortable, I completely respect that. If you just happen to miss us just a teensy-wincy little bit, or you're feeling a little lonely, I really want to recommend that you continue to participate in programs like this one. Continue to participate in events. But if you're feeling zoomed out, right? If you're saying, oh gosh, so much Zooming, then continue to stay connected, at least by calling different programs or emailing. Most of the programs on campus have a website available, and you can find our most recent contact information on there. Just stay connected. That human interaction and that support is necessary, I think now more so than ever. So I'm sure in every virtual space that you participate in, every event, you're going to hear just how proud we are of you for staying in college, for staying connected. Years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to say, I was a college student through the pandemic and I got through it, and that's so powerful. Some of you may be in your second year at Mount SAC, while others of you are just starting your second term and maybe never even set foot on our campus. But nevertheless, you're all college students, you're all stronger than you realize, and you're all really important to us. Because we care about your success, the goal of the Promise+ program is to make sure that we provide you with financial and support resources that are going to help you get through college, but also have a successful college experience. So resources like money, right? Money for school supplies, books, and food. Resources like counseling and student support workshops, and information sharing of events like the free drive-up food pantry. As a past community college student myself, I wish I would have participated in programs. I wish I would have taken advantage of resources, because if I would have done those things, honestly, my college experience would have been more valuable and probably a lot easier. So one of the best skills I did learn in community college, though, was note-taking. So I want to encourage you today, take out a piece of paper and a pen, right? And take notes as we go through today's event. Write down, set up another column that has questions. And any questions that come up, write it down. What we're going to do is the last 30 minutes of our event today will be dedicated to just answering any questions. So we do ask that you hold on to those questions, ask them at the end, or you can put them in the chat, but we most likely will not address them until the end of the event today. Now, if you have something more personal that you want to discuss, that you don't want to put out your business for everybody to see out there on the chat, then go ahead and privately message us. Privately message Jacob Perez. And then Jacob will make sure, to support you and provide you with whatever information you may need. So today it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a great journey of just information that is going to be helpful to you as a Promise student. Today is just for Promise students. So now let's talk about what we're actually doing today. So give me a minute here, not a minute, but a few seconds to just make sure that I share screen and show you what we're going to be talking about. All right. So for today, you're going to receive a program overview from the staff. We want to make sure that you know what you need to do each semester to stay eligible so that you don't lose your benefits, right? This program, you can get benefits for up to 2 years, but that's depending on if you stay eligible each semester. So we want to make sure that we provide you that information. I'm going to introduce you to the Promise Plus team. You're also going to have an opportunity to connect with our counseling team. These are counselors that work in general counseling or STEP or Summer Bridge. We're also going to get you ready for winter and spring semester. Believe it or not, they're right around the corner. We want to make sure that you're ready so that we can get you your winter and spring Promise benefits. We're going to go over upcoming opportunities, and then also, like I said, the last 30 minutes will be allocated for question and answer. All right, so what is the purpose of the California Promise programs? So really, the California Promise programs were designed to increase the completion of associate's degree and certificate programs and increase transfer rates to the university. So the way that the California Promise programs do this is by providing financial resources to students and student support, right? To help you develop whatever goals, whatever path you need to carve to receive your associate's degree or your certificate program or transfer to the university. Some of you maybe are still trying to figure out what you want to do. That's okay. That's why we keep pushing and saying, meet with a counselor, talk to a counselor, because a counselor can really help you figure out, right? And help you explore different options for you. The way that the California Promise programs are designed is that benefits are provided to students for 2 years, as long as you're eligible each term, because the goal is to try and get you to achieve these goals within 2 years. However, we know that that's not a reality for all students. I know it wasn't my reality when I was a community college student, and that's okay. All right. So if you need to be at Mount SAC more than 2 years, that's fine. But just know that for those first 2 years of your college experience, you'll receive benefits. And really the third goal is to minimize the challenges that you all face in succeeding and achieving in college. So how do we do this? We have a group of dedicated folks that really work so hard to make sure that you stay eligible to receive your benefits, that are constantly communicating with you and getting information out to you and putting together programs and events that are beneficial to you. So the first one is Bianca Valley Ward, which I know you're very familiar with because she has been with Promise the longest. We both have been with Promise for 1.5 years now. And she is now serving as a program coordinator as of October 1st. She was promoted because she does just such an incredible job. And then we also have 3 peer coaches. So we have Bianca Barrera, Xiomara Pineda, and Rajon Baines. So these are our peer coaches. These are like the fresh, younger faces of Promise in that they just graduated from Mount SAC not so long ago. 2 of them graduated in June and the other graduated in June of 2019. So they're able to provide you more with that student to student type of support and kind of like the real deal, right, of how to get through college. We also have Jacob Perez, which is our project expert. He used to actually work in STEP the last couple of years, but he's done such a great job that we just had to bring him on to the Promise team. And he's just working really hard to make sure that, resources are available to you and communication is out there. And then last but not least, we have our newest member, which is Catalina Quintero, which just started with us October 12th. And Catalina serves as the administrative specialist. So she does all the ordering of all those goodies that you all get, you know, the sweatshirts, the t-shirts, backpacks, things like that. And that's just one of the things that she does. Then we also have our Promise+ counseling team, which is brand new to the program. So as of this week, these part-time counselors are going to be working just with Promise students. So we have Risa Estrada, Maria Camarena, and Rocio Gonzalez. And their whole purpose is going to be to make sure to provide you with the support and the information necessary to get you to complete your goals, or to even develop your goals, right? Because you might all be in different spaces, and that's okay. So here's a list of some of the things that they can help you with, but I really want to encourage you to get to know them, okay? Get to know them. I know they want to get to know you, and then that way they can, you know, help you at the best capacity that they can. Another thing I did want to announce is we have a new partnership with counseling. So our General Counseling Center for the college also has what's called a completion center, okay? And in the completion center are counselors and staff that work more closely with students that are maybe just, you know, a few units away from actually completing their associate's degree or their certificate program or transferring to the university. Sometimes students are going to class and doing everything and don't realize that they really only need, you know, a few more classes to complete. So we've partnered up. We have this Promise to Complete partnership in which the Completion Center is going to have activities specifically for Promise students. You will have access to those Completion Center counselors. And then there'll be Completion Center celebrations when you achieve certain milestones. An example may be that you completed all your English and math requirements that make you eligible to graduate or transfer, right? So they're still coming up with what that's going to look like, but it's really exciting to see counseling and Promise working together to make sure that you get the type of support and resources necessary to put you on the right path towards achieving your goals. So stay connected. Promise to complete, right? Promise to complete to yourself and promise to succeed. Let the adventure continue. Don't give up on yourself. We're not giving up on you. We're here for you. So again, as you go through today's event, take notes, right? Take down any questions, and the last 30 minutes, we'll make sure to get to your questions. We're really excited to have you here today, and we wish you a lot of success and a lot of joy, safe and healthy. Be well, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Tanya. That was wonderful to hear how our team is growing and how much exciting new things we have to offer our students this year. As Tanya mentioned, a lot of it is brand new and a lot of our staff is brand new, and the energy is electric. We're so excited for all the wonderful opportunities that we're able to grow this program to serve you all. So thank you so much, Tanya. Next, I would like to introduce our Associate Dean of Counseling, Ms. Lena Soto.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here. I just want to welcome you to this event, and I'm just really excited to be able to see that you are persevering and seeing that you are continuing with your studies in what is honestly the most unprecedented time we've ever seen. We know that you are strong. We know that the times are tough. And we know that some of you may be saying, I love this online stuff, and others are saying, I don't really like it at all. But either way, you are still here, and we are here to help you see it through. We want to make sure that you know that you can come to this team, a new wonderful team that has been put together specifically to help you reach your goals. This program was designed to give you additional benefits, to give you additional resources, so that you could meet your goals, transfer, get your associate degree, earn your certificate in the time that you were hoping to get it, without being burdened or feeling like I have to worry about so many other things. This program was really designed to help lessen some of those extra financial burdens that we may have, to not have to worry about all of our school supplies, So we wanted to be able to provide that to you so that you could focus on your studies and push through and get that degree that you want. So I'm just happy that you're still here. Please, please, as Tanya was saying before, reach out to us. If you run into this space of, I'm just really struggling to get through this week, we are here for you. We have counselors ready to talk to you about motivation and making sure that you stick with it. Sometimes we just need someone to lean on, and it feels so lonely sometimes in this environment of just seeing boxes. Right now, I see boxes with a bunch of names, but I think just having this community and knowing that we are still available to you is so important. As Tanya said before, reach out. And if you're in part of other special programs, go to where you are most comfortable, but know that you are not in this alone. We are all feeling this in different ways. So we're here for you. If you have any questions, I know that this team is so responsive and they are so excited to be working with you. So take advantage of that. It's not something that you see often, that even in a pandemic, that you have so many people willing to just be there for you and help you through anything that you need. This is that team. So I'm glad that you're here. I hope that you're excited to be a part of this program. And I'm so proud of you for continuing and being part of year 2. You know, just as you got ready and you got started and you were finally feeling like, I've got this. I finished a fall semester, maybe even a winter session. You got started with spring and we shut down as a school. I know it was crazy. So I'm so glad you haven't given up. Keep fighting, keep pushing on, and know that we're here to help you in any way that we can. Thank you so much for having me here, Bianca. And I'm really proud of all of you.
Thank you, Lena. Thank you so much for joining our students today. It's really an honor to have you. So next up, we have our completion team that Tanya had mentioned. It is a new partnership, one that we're so very lucky to have, that our students are going to be able to connect with our completion center in new and inventive ways that are specifically targeted to our Promise+ students. So it's with great joy that I get to introduce to you today. We have 3 specialists, Jamie Carranza, Stacy Lee, and Kaylin Lar here, as well as 1 counselor, Jesse Lopez. Welcome.
Alrighty, so my name is Jesse Lopez. I'm one of the counselors with the Completion Center. And so I'll kind of be walking you through the presentation, giving you some info about what we do there, and just quick overview of who we are, right, as people there, to make sure that you feel comfortable coming in to reach out to us as an extra service for you as a part of Promise+, okay? So I'm gonna move. So our completion staff, right? We have 3 staff members there. I don't know if you all want to just turn your mic on, maybe just introduce yourselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Jamie. I'm one of the program specialists over at the Completion Center, and it's great to see you all here.
Hi everyone, my name is Stacy Lee. I'm a program specialist in the Completion Center as well. I'm a Mount SAC alum, so I'm so glad that all of you are here.
My name is Jesse. I'm also a Mount SAC alum. I was a student, graduated from Gary High School in Pomona. And then I went to Mount SAC. I've been at Mount SAC since 2013 now. And I worked in a couple different areas, EOP&S, high school outreach. But now I'm in completion and through general counseling. So yeah, really excited to be able to provide these services to you. We have 2 colleagues here that are not available. I think Rudy's teaching right now, Rudy Santa Cruz. So he's the other counselor in the Completion Center. And then we also have Angel Lujan, who is a counselor, but also our department chair. So the person who kind of mediates our meetings and facilitates those. So he's the other counselor that's there in the Completion Center. So you'll be familiar with Rudy and myself as the weeks go by. You'll be able to reach out to us. So with Promise, right, Promise+ requires that you go and see a counselor and attend workshops. specifically, right, because we know the benefits of those, which we'll talk about in a second. And we just wanted to have like an image of what that would look like for you, right? Some of you are a part of different programs. So some of you are part of EOP&S, which is Extended Opportunities Programs and Services. Some of you are part of the Bridge program or specific equity programs like REACH, DREAM, ARISE, ASPIRE. And all of those programs have counselors. So we just wanted to make it clear that with completion, we are similar to that in that we are another program that offers support in counseling, in workshops and activities. And with Promise, right, we are one of the ways in which you can get those requirements met to maintain your Promise eligibility. So if you need to see a counselor, right, it's a lot easier to come through one of these programs if you're already a part of them, than to go in through general counseling. Right, general counseling, we have about, I would say, close to about 30 full-timers there, and we have a lot of students. So even though you can see counselors in general counseling, it is a lot harder to get appointments. And so with these special programs, we have a lot more availability, right? So if you're having trouble and you're in need of getting these requirements met, you need to reach out to us. Definitely utilize the Completion Center, but if you're a part of those other programs as well, you can use those counselors, those activities for your eligibility for Promise, right? And that's more of the technical eligibility, like you need to hit these requirements, but we'll talk about kind of the benefits of utilizing those services in the next slides. So what is the Completion Center? So the Completion Center, the idea is it's a place where we can help students complete their degree, right? We know at Mount SAC that we've heard the statistics and graduation rates of community colleges in general. And I think a lot of students are fearful of that concept of being at a community college forever, right? And so as counseling and as student affairs professionals, we know that that is an issue, right? That students get stuck for a variety of reasons, right? Maybe they have family issues, responsibilities, they have a lot of work on their plate, maybe some study strategies. And then there's some, institutional things that might be really hard to get over, like math requirements and things like that. And so we as a college put this effort to help students complete. And this is a variety of things that we are doing. So obviously one is counseling, coming and seeing our counseling services so that we can kind of walk you through basically beginning to end, and which we'll go into more detail in a second. But the whole concept of the Completion Center is to make sure that you are going to be able to finish your degree or transfer your whatever your educational goal is, that we're there to support you through to the end. So like they mentioned before, right, our services, we offer scheduling with counselors, right? So because we are blocking off spots in our schedule to be able to see students from a variety of areas, including Promise Plus, we're going to have more availability, right, for you than you would have in, let's say, general counseling. So if you need something more quick and you need an appointment that day, right, it'll probably be easier to get a hold of a counselor through Promise Plus than it would through a general counseling department. Okay, we do have those milestone recognition ceremonies. So we're looking at, when you finish your first English or math course, if I know some of you have already started doing that and almost already finished that, so that's awesome. We're looking at when you graduate with that associate degree or certificate. So we're going to have events throughout the term and throughout your time where we can kind of, recognize you for your effort. Because a lot of that is, the feeling of accomplishment, and college is not a sprint, right? It's a marathon. And so we want to make sure that we are the kind of the cheerleaders, the people that are giving you those cups of water on the side to make sure that you're getting your journey completed with as much support as possible. Okay, we have personalized guidance and support, right? So our staff members there are there to answer any questions that you have, and they really serve as an extra layer of support for you, right? So, you can build those relationships with those staff members as well as you move through your semesters, and that's the idea, really, to build a strong network of support. Okay. And then we have referrals to on-campus and off-campus resources, right? So connecting with financial aid, connecting with the transfer center for applications and college tours, connecting with our basic needs resource center for any food or possible housing support. And then also our mental health counseling on campus. There's a variety of resources that we want to make sure that you're aware of and that you utilize while you're at Mount SAC. So this is really, as a counselor, right, this is what we primarily focus on. we look at our functions as a counselor, meaning what do we do as a counselor, right? So we have academic counseling, transfer counseling, career, and personal. So when we're talking about academic, this is looking at your classes, right? Making sure that your grades are there, you're not on probation, right? We're looking at, sequencing of courses, when to take what. Transfer counseling, right? We're looking at, okay, where do we want to go? How much does it cost to go to those schools, right? What's the differences between Cal States and UCs and privates and out-of-state schools, okay? Then we have career counseling. Okay, so like, what do I want to do with philosophy, right? Am I going to be a philosopher when I grow up, right? Or what can I do with psychology or political science, English? This is the conversations that we kind of have. Or what is graduate school? How do I become a teacher? So we kind of go over all those questions in career counseling, and then personal counseling, right? So we're not therapists, right? But we do definitely talk about things that impede your education. So whether it's stress or personal things going on, maybe with family, we could touch upon these things. And as a counselor, these are all the 4 concepts that we should be covering with you, right? And they might not all happen at once, but as we build relationships with each other, right, we get to know each other a little better, we'll be able to hit these points, because this is really what makes up your academic experience, right, is having all of these goals and topics met, okay? So hopefully, we get to meet each other in those one-on-one sessions, and we get to build that rapport and relationship where we can cover all these goals, right, these topics, and making sure that when it's all said and done, we have our degree, we have our certificate, or we're ready to go for transfer. Okie dokie. Well, definitely, I'm gonna, if that's okay, I'm gonna put my email in the chat. I know sometimes it's probably easier to follow up more one-on-one. So if you do have any questions, you can follow up with me, send me an email. If you want to make a follow-up appointment, you can always follow up with our center online as well through our online scheduling. And if you can't get an appointment, you need to see me, just email me and I can plug you in myself, okay? But I appreciate that, all of you are here early in the morning, like Tanya mentioned, right? Everybody's getting their hair ready. I'm like combing my hair last minute. So I'm glad that you were all able to make it. And so please follow up, and I hope to work with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jesse, and the Completion Center team. That was awesome. Very exciting to see all the wonderful opportunities our students will have to get more support in achieving their academic and career goals. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward with some Promise-specific information. So give me a moment to share my screen. Okay, so most of you as second year Promise+ students already know this information. However, you'd be surprised, I still do get questions asking some of our specifics. So we want to just kind of go over them again, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, so that we can make sure that you continue to get your benefits for spring semester. So registering for a minimum of 6 units is the requirement. And a lot of students will email or call if they drop units from full-time to part-time, and they're very worried. I was full-time and now I'm part-time. What does that mean for me? As long as you're still 6 units and above, then you're totally okay. We understand that life happens and sometimes you have to drop a class, and especially these times, these COVID eras, we understand that life changes and sometimes you have to adjust your schedule for your own sanity sometimes, and sometimes for financial reasons. So we totally understand that, there's flux with our units that we enroll in, but as long as you're at least in 6 units, then you are still eligible for all of your benefits. Most of you have already completed your English or math, since that was a requirement last year as well. So a lot of you have asked, well, what if I'm done? Do I have to take a random English class? Absolutely not. We do not want to make you take any unnecessary classes. All you have to do is check in with us. You can screenshot your ed plan. You can show us, I've already completed for my specific academic goals, my major, I'm done with English and math. Then we're so proud of you for that. And we will absolutely not force you to take any unnecessary classes. We just need to make sure, because even though you are in your second year, there are some that still need to take those English and math classes, and that's okay, because we're all on a different path and a different timeline. So we just want to make sure that if you've completed it, that we're aware of it so we can celebrate you and your accomplishments. And if you haven't, we want to encourage you to continue and move forward. For counseling, as we've mentioned prior, we do require that you attend at least one counseling session during fall and spring semester. And we've kind of shared today, there are various options for you. We have three new Promise counselors that are joined our team. We have the Completion Center, who has graciously paired up with us to offer you more opportunities to meet that goal. And this isn't just a box that we want you to check. This is really designed for your success. We know that if you meet with a counselor regularly, that you will stay on the correct path, and that if there's a hiccup along the road, that they can guide you to making, the next step to fixing that, to getting you back on track, and even just to give you some peace of mind. Sometimes we just need to know that we're doing the right thing. And so having a counselor meeting with you at least fall and spring, that's our way of ensuring that there's an open line of communication on your next steps and how you can meet your goals. For your student support workshops, again, we really hope that you aren't looking at these as just another thing that you have to check off your box, because really we select workshops designed with you in mind. We try to look across campus at various campus resources, and we say, what do we think would benefit our students? What information, what new activities can we expose them to? Because some of you may not feel comfortable. And so having an obligated workshop may feel like a burden, but it also might kind of give you the little nudge you need to experience something different and to maybe connect with a different campus resource that you maybe wouldn't have even known about if you hadn't been advised by Promise Plus to attend. So we really hope that you're looking at the opportunities we are selecting for you, and that you consider attending more than one. With COVID, we've limited it down from 2 per semester to 1, because we do acknowledge that it may not be as easy, but we do encourage you to consider going to more than one if it's within your means. And lastly, the GPA requirement, again, that is something that we set forth. It's not meant to be a punishment or to say, anything less of academic achievement. What we're asking is that this sets a standard for you, a goal that you have to keep in mind, not only to keep your benefits, but also to help you when you're looking at transferring, or if you're looking at scholarships. Your GPA is a big factor in a lot of those decisions. And so we want to make sure that you're staying on course. So what happens if you don't meet one of these requirements? Promise Plus, if you haven't experienced it yet, you will know that we try so hard. We're so gracious, and we really are rooting for your success. And so we want to make sure that we're setting you up for success in ways that we're offering you opportunities to make up for if you weren't able to do something. So if you didn't take your English and math in fall, and that's still something that you have to do, then we allow you to use the winter as an opportunity to make up for your inability to do it in fall. And that's okay. But again, you have to communicate with us. And if you get an email saying, hey, you didn't meet your English or math requirement, just let us know, like, oh, actually, I'm done. Here's the proof. And we're more than happy to verify that for you. Or if you say, I really know I needed to take that English class, but it just wasn't feasible for me this semester, that's okay. We understand, but we'll say, okay, you need to take it in winter so that we can go ahead and keep you eligible for spring. So just keep that line of communication open with us so that we can make sure that we're all working towards the same thing, which is your success. What if your GPA falls below the 2.0 this fall? So if you're struggling academically, or if your GPA is right at the cusp and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to make it, then I would advise that you meet with a counselor and talk to them so we can work together about selecting the right classes for you. And maybe in winter, you'll take a specific class that your counselor can help guide you towards so that you can get that GPA up to your 2.0 by eligibility for spring, so that you can still get your spring benefits. What if you didn't take a workshop? So we have offered over 42 workshop opportunities during September and October, and we do still have some left in November. Make sure that you're checking your email. We try to group them, so you'll get all of the ASAC approved ones in one email, because they have different logins requirements. And we'll say, here are all the lead workshops that are approved. Here's Mentee Mentor. And we separate it that way because each specific program has different criteria for logging in. And we have found that if we give it to you all at once, it gets really confusing. So make sure that you're looking, and usually the title of the email will say workshop So if you're trying to figure out where is there a workshop I can attend, do a search in your email, because I guarantee you we have sent you the information. Or shoot us an email and say, hey, I can't find it. Can you help me? We're more than happy to do that. And we are working on getting a calendar put up on our website. So hopefully that will be coming soon. But in the meantime, just make sure that you're checking that email. And if you haven't met with a counselor, please make an appointment as soon as possible, because especially as the semester winds down, it gets a little harder to get those appointments. So make sure you're making that a priority so that we can get those criteria met. Okay, winter intersession. So I mentioned that winter is kind of your makeup semester, kind of your intersession to kind of get some of those things taken care of. It's a 6-week opportunity. It starts January 4th. So you still get some of that break. So you have some weeks in December off so that you can kind of wind down, recuperate, and move forward. So if you're considering taking winter intersession, it will start January 4th, and that's an opportunity for you to take those English or math classes. Or if you did take your English and math class in fall, but maybe you want to take another that you need in winter, so that way you don't have to take it in spring, you can also do that. So that way you can kind of strategize. If you know, for example, maybe math is particularly not your favorite, and you want to say, I'm just going to take that one math class in winter, so that could be the only thing I have to focus on. And then in spring, I don't have to worry about it when I'm taking other classes. That's absolutely an option for you as well. Okay, so next up, I would like to introduce our project expert, Jacob Perez.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Jacob Perez, and I work for the Promise+ program. I'd like to highlight some series of requirements for Promise+. So for spring, it's very important to get your educational plan for each semester. So for the first day, registration will be for February 22nd through to for the Promise+ students. And also too, one thing I want to emphasize why meeting with the counselor is very important is because, just as Jesse said and other previous panelists have stated, it's very important to know what your transfer goals are. And also too, what type of courses can be applicable for an associate's degree or also too for certificate. And also too, we need to start thinking about what are our career goals. Where do we want to go with this bachelor's degree? What type of institution do we want to go? Do you want to go private? Do we want to go Cal State? Do you want to go to a UC? So there's many variables to consider, and sitting down with a counselor and really talking about these things. Okay, what is it? Where does it want to be for the next 3 years? And especially now, of course, there is a pandemic, but it's really good and important to really make an adjustment to your plan. And just by understanding what your transfer goal is or what type of foreign institution you want to transfer to, trust me, it's always good to have a plan. And also too, when you talk to a counselor, is transfer information, transfer admission guarantee. These are very, very important to start looking into, because what type of UC do you want to go into? Is a UC something that you want to go into? And these are very, very important questions just to ask yourself. And start doing research. Do you want to go up north? You know, when you want to transfer, do you want to go up north? Do you want to go down south? Do you want to stay in Central California, or you want to stay local? Also too, the resources. What kind of resources does four-year institution have? Also too, does that four-year institution cater to your major? So there's many variables and many factors to consider when you do want to transfer to a four-year institution. And also too, applying is a process. It can be quite a little bit challenging because you want to put all the right information and you want to make sure your application is correct. So it's very, very important to sit down with a counselor to really map out what is it do you want to go, where is it that we want to achieve our bachelor's degree at, what school do you want to look into. So these are very, very important questions to answer, to ask yourself. To make sure you schedule an appointment that can be counted for the Promise+ requirement for spring, it must be a 45-minute appointment. So it must be, yes, it will be to complete a map. What a map is a multi-academic plan. And this will be your requirement for spring 2021. And please submit your counseling form. And also too, as we stated previously, sometimes the counseling department does give over an overwhelming amount of students who just want to get a map. So it's also very important to, if you're part of EOP&S, if you're part of DREAM, if you're part of ACCESS, if you're part of Honors, you can also meet with a counselor at those specialized programs, and your Promise+ requirement will be counted. just please make sure to submit your form so you can receive credit for it. Also, too, the Promise Plus benefits. I know for the first years, if you're a first year entering, this is your first time entering the Promise Plus program, that means you're a first year. If this is your second year, of course, you're a second year. Um, it, Early registration is only for the right now for the first years, and that's only for included for fall, winter, and spring semesters for 2021 through 2022. The book grants and target e-card, that varies. It could be for if you're full-time, it could be 250 for a book grant. If you're part-time, it'll be 125. And for your target e-card, it'll be a total for full-time students will be 150, and for part-time, it'll be $100. And this only qualifies for fall and spring semesters only. And waiving mandatory fees, this is very important. We do not cover tuition, but we do cover the student, the associated student fees, the health activities fees, but we do not cover tuition, and that only applies for fall and spring. We give students access to laptop loans while supplies last. Also, too, we provide school supplies and free mounted gear. And it's also very important for part of Promise Plus benefits, we provide student success workshops and campus connections. So there could be referrals to services, also to connection with the counselors that we'll be having with the Promise Plus counselors. And that'll be completing our Promise Plus benefits. One thing I do want to emphasize, because we have been getting a lot of questions regarding the target e-card, is this is a really good opportunity to really take the time to really focus on your groceries, your essentials, your supplies, and also too, this target e-card, you can be using at any specific target. So the location doesn't matter. As long as it's the target, you should be okay. But again, it's just very, very important to always remember, please buy healthy snacks, buy school supplies that you need, or any type of essentials that can be helpful for this fall semester. And also too, we wanted to add and clarify, when you do receive your target e-card, your email should look something like this. It should say, do not reply at wgiftcard.com. And it should look something like that with the, to test your Mount SAC from Mount SAC Promise Plus program. And it should look like a message like that on the bottom. And if you have any more questions on this, please email us. Oh, also too, really maybe offer you some good advice, because I have been there, I've seen it, I've done it. My experience in my educational journey may be different compared to all y'all. But one thing I want to say is, look, when I started here at Mount SAC, I was a young pup. I just graduated from from the Dallas High School, and it was summer 2006. 2006. And it was a weird transition for me, because I was used to seeing counselors from my high school just see me as a number. It was never anything personal. It was just like a transaction. Okay, what do you want? What's going on? So when I entered Summer Bridge, it was a complete day and night experience from my high school to my community college experience. That was the first time I ever had counselors care about me. It's like, how was your day? What do you mean, how's my day? It felt good. It felt really good to hear counselors actually saying, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? What type of goals do you want? What type of careers? What are your options? Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years or the next 3 years? What's your plan? And mind you, this was my Summer Bridge experience. I never had counselors tell me, check in on me. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? And it was a very, very surreal moment that I really enjoyed, because it was awesome. It was awesome feeling supported. And I actually had some sense of directions from not only from like counselors, but also from faculty. I made sure to make connections with my professors to really, what is it I can do to better my essay? What is it I can do to better my math? And by their support and advice, they were able to direct me to certain resources that we had on campus, and that was called the Mark. And I remember we were able to really focus on my math, and it was a really good experience, because I went from a different high school experience to community college. Of my professors at my high school were completely different compared to my college level professors. I never felt so supported. I never had a professor sit down with me and tell me, hey, this is what you need to do. This is how you break down the formula. And it was a complete different experience. And sure, my experience of being at Mount SAC was 5 years, but it was a really good 5 years. You know, I went at my pace. I didn't go at anybody else's pace. I went at my timeline. I didn't go the typical 2 years and transfer. I was actually part-time at times. I really wanted to take the time to really reflect, what is it I want to do? Where do I want to go? And by having a good support system with my friends and colleagues, I was able to really take the time to really reflect on where is it that I want to go. And that's when a part of life, you start really enhancing your life skills, actually your responsibilities as well. Because when I left Mount SAC, I was aware of what are the resources that were at Mount SAC, what type of programs that we offer, and I was able to transfer those type of skills of how to know how to advocate for myself from Mount SAC to Cal State LA. So when I transferred to Cal State LA, I was actually better prepared. I was actually more responsible. I knew where to go. I knew where the financial aid department. I knew where parking was. I actually took the time to take a day off and really go to Cal State LA on a regular day and see what it was like. Actually, I even took the bus. Okay, what is it like to commute here? I even drove. What is it like to drive there? How does traffic look like? I really took the time to plan out what type of school do I want to go to. And I remember it was a complete day and night experience, from being a little nervous kid from Nogales High School to transferring to Mount SAC, to actually knowing how to advocate for myself, how to ask for help, how to know what specific programs are there. And honestly, it was an amazing experience going to Cal State LA. Like, it really was. I made a lot of friends there too. It was just an amazing experience. Then when I graduated from Cal State LA, I entered grad school. And I guess for myself, I started seeing the difference of level of academic demand of what the professors expected from me. And sure, it was hard, it was challenging, but it was an adjustment. Everything was always adjustment. Many people were able to do this before. I can do this too. And it really helped me understand what type of career do I want to go into. I was able to get my master's degree in counseling and higher ed at Cal State Long Beach. It really helped me understand, okay, your career and your education is a marathon. It's not going to happen overnight. It's gonna take time, because there's many variables. How much money do you want to make? What type of school do you want to go to? Also too, what type of school do you want to transfer? What does the process look like? And also too, what type of experience for work do you need? So there was many questions I asked myself throughout this educational journey. But I can't what I can sincerely say, if it wasn't for Mount SAC and all the extra support, I don't think I would be where I am. And it's an amazing experience to be part of this. So I'm very, very glad to actually share this story with y'all. And I thank you all for hearing me. And if you have any questions, I can gladly list my email on the bottom. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you for sharing your story. Next up, we would like to share a video with you from fellow Mount SAC students and staff who have some information they would like to share with you about their experiences and insider tips. Some of you may have seen this video if you have attended any of our other events. It's possible that you may have seen it, and if you have, just consider this a friendly reminder.
Stay in school. Focus on classes.
Everyone's here for the same reason. Just be yourself and everything will be okay.
Just find out where the restrooms are at. It's very important, because when you have to go, it's going to be hard to find one closest to your classroom.
Get in contact with your professor and just kind of create a relationship with them. And it's kind of just be like, meeting with them outside of class times, like office hours.
Trust the process. You're here for a reason. You're in a great place with lots of people that are here that are going to help you and support you and just love on you. So just trust that you're right where you're supposed to be.
To not let your high school self get in the way of your college self. High school doesn't matter whether or not you were like a C student barely passing. College is a new experience, and you can start all over as a student.
Try to get involved in any clubs, any special programs, anything that makes you feel that you're connected.
So the more involvement you have on campus, the more of a sense of community you build within your classmates, staff members, professors, counselors, and that's just the key to your success.
Number one, syllabus. Read the entire syllabus and jot down when your tests are and when big papers are due.
Try and find your support system and your community on campus.
The best thing that I could tell you all is that you belong here. Just remind yourself why you're here, why you pushed yourself through the entire Mount SAC matriculation process to be able to take classes here. Whenever you feel like you can't do something, whenever you feel like you don't belong somewhere, remind yourself to that moment when you decided to go to college and use that motivation to power through.
Take your time. There's no need to rush. The community college of Montague provides the student with a lot of resources.
Make sure you eat, bring snacks to class, whatever it may be, stay hydrated. If you do not eat, you will not be able to focus in class.
Make friends with your professor. Enjoy college. College is not just about grades. College is about making connections to people, finding your identity, finding the things that you like to do in life. Go explore and be curious and have fun.
You most likely will not be the same student you came in as. That process of change, the amount of work that you're gonna put in, you might think you might not be able to do it, but in the end, when you get through it, you realize how much work you put in. And our role here at Mount SAC as a student ambassador is to help y'all. Anytime you see us with the swag, the student ambassador on the shirt inside student services, do not be ashamed. Don't feel like you can't ask a question. No question is a stupid question. Ask us anything, from where the restroom is, where I can get some food, my first class is. Don't be ashamed to ask us on and off the clock.
Alrighty, so I know some of you may be thinking, well, some of that advice doesn't apply because we're remote, but we will get back to campus hopefully someday, and that information will be helpful. And some of that stuff we can still apply in our remote learning environment. So connecting with your faculty, trying to maintain those connections. I know it's a little more difficult, but those efforts will prove, when you return back to campus, or if you're needing a recommendation letter, if you're a black box on a screen to your faculty, then they may not remember you. But if you're actively engaging in your classes, reaching out to your faculty, those connections will be remembered. And so the best that we can do is give it our all in this remote environment and just take a breath and just try our best. And so I'm hoping that some of you are taking that to heart. And if you're feeling a little uncomfortable, or if you're looking for ways to find those connections, that you reach out to us, because we're more than happy to help you kind of talk through it and connect you with some of our new Promise counselors so that we can find those ways for you to feel connected to Mount SAC, even though we are in a very remote environment these days. Up next, I would like to introduce to you our peer coaches. We have Xiomara, Bianca, and Ray. And they would like to share a little bit about themselves, because you will be connecting with them and they will be reaching out to you very soon. So peer coaches.
Obviously, my name is Bianca. This is the second time I introduced myself a little bit. But I actually am an alum from Mount SAC. I started in fall of 2014. I graduated from Diamond Ranch High School. With that, I actually almost didn't graduate. I was about to be kicked out of my high school. So I automatically thought that I was not college material. And it was kind of, I apologize. It was kind of a last minute decision to come to Mount SAC. I was originally supposed to attend the Art Institute in Orange County. But with personal reasons, I decided to come to Mount SAC. I was in the Industrial Design Engineering program there at Mount SAC. It's a certificate program close to where the Aviation Center is at. While my time at Mount SAC, I actually changed my major probably 4 to 5 times, from econ to history to poli-sci. Basically almost every social science major you can possibly think of, I wanted to possibly receive. But I did graduate in spring of 2019 with my 8.8 in poli-sci. And I also received a second degree in social behavioral science. While my time on SAC, I was able to really truly find who I was as a woman, and especially a woman of color. I was able to be part of ARISE, so it's our Asian American Pacific Islander Native Hawaiian program there on campus. I was also part of ACES. I did their summer program and spent the first 5 weeks there on campus, and then the last week we went up to UC Santa Barbara and we stayed in the dorms in the freshman dorms and was able to have that experience of a university life, which was pretty interesting because that was going to probably be the first and last time, and it was all paid for. That's something that I think Mount SAC is one of the few community colleges to really provide our students with a lot of resources and a lot of experiences that most probably won't have in their lifetime. I also was able to work for the Arise program, and then I worked there for about a year, and then I started working for the HSO department, so our high school outreach department, and went out to high schools along with helping students at the information counter, giving campus tours. But yeah, and then I graduated. I eventually then went to CSUN, then I transferred to La Sierra University, and as of yesterday, I did receive my admissions to Cal State San Bernardino. I am taking the semester off because, like many of us, some of us know our strengths and our weaknesses. I know for mine was not being able to do work remotely, so I decided to take a semester off to really just refocus mentally, because during these times it can take a toll on us. So yeah, and if you do have any questions, I will put it in the chat, my updated phone number, but you can always reach me at my email, and then I will drop my new phone number in the chat. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. It's an honor to be here with you all. So I am another peer coach for the Promise+ program. So my name is Xiomara Pineda. Just a little bit about myself. Before I started attending Mount SAC in 2017, I did attend Riverside Community College for about 4 years. And then once I started attending Mount SAC, I was part of a lot of programs. So I was part of EOP NS. I was part of the FEM Club. I also attended a lot of the LEAD workshops where I ended up getting a LEAD certificate. And then during my time at Mount SAC, I was working for the high school outreach department for about 2 years until this year I started working for the Promise+ program. And then a little bit as well, when I started attending Mount SAC, I actually went from Riverside to Mount SAC to become a vet tech student. So during my first year at Mount SAC, I was actually in the vet program, but plans changed, and I ended up switching my major to sociology, where I then graduated from Mount SAC in 2019 with my AA in sociology, and I did transfer to La Sierra University, where I'm currently attending, and I am finishing up my last 2 quarters where I'll be getting my BA in sociology. And I do continue to pursue my education and getting my master's in counseling. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. So if you have any questions, you can always contact me via email, and I will also provide my information via the chat.
My name is Rajon Baines. I go by Ray just because it's usually easier to pronounce. I actually started Mount SAC in fall 2018. However, what I didn't put on here is when I graduated back in high school, or back in 2012 from West Covina High School, I did transfer to ASU, but I wasn't prepared for the transfer because I am a first-generation college student. And since I wasn't prepared, since college wasn't really a talk in my household, I quickly dropped out just because I wasn't used to the transition. I didn't know what to expect or how to take it in. So I did leave and I joined the working field. And it wasn't, like I said, till 2018 of the fall semester that I joined or started attending Mount SAC. And literally like the first time I stepped foot on Mount SAC, I felt a sense of home, a sense of like comfort. They offered many programs such as Promise+, that really kind of helps you gain a sense of community. And so I already instantly felt comfortable and made Mount SAC my second home. I graduated last year, spring 2020, as a double major, so in communications and sociology. And I am currently at UC Santa Cruz as a sociology major. My time at Mount SAC, I was in EOPS, Arise, Aspire, MMI, Transfer Club, Bridge, El Centro, HSO, and now currently a peer coach at Promise+Plus. So as you can see, I spent my time really trying to step my foot in as many programs and many clubs as I can, just to make myself feel more comfortable and gain that support system, which is needed, especially now that everything is remote. You want to have that support system, because during the hard times, they definitely will help you gain that sense of comfort. As I mentioned, I am at UC Santa Cruz. I am trying to pursue my bachelor's degree in sociology and hoping to come back as a counselor at Mount SAC. That's like my ultimate dream goal. It wasn't that before. Literally, before coming to Mount SAC, I had no idea what I wanted to do. My major going to ASU was sports medicine, just because I was an athlete in high school and I was like, oh, this is my comfort zone. But that totally changed at Mount SAC. I saw that everyone was willing to help me so much that I wanted to give back as well. And I hope to either be a counselor at a high school where I can kind of help students prepare for that transition, or even be a counselor at Mount SAC. So yeah, so my information I'll drop also down in the chat if you guys want to chat with me and talk with me, and I can connect more with you and give you information on how to get connected. Definitely reach out. Once again, I'll drop that in the chat. Thank you.